And you, Solomon my son, know the God of your father, and serve him with a whole heart and a willing mind. For Yahweh searches all hearts and understands every plan and all thoughts. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you abandon him, he will reject you forever. 1 Chronicles 28, verse 9, Lexham English Bible. Each Sunday on YouTube and Facebook, the algorithm opens its doors just a crack, just long enough for a Christian prophet to remind us to seek the goddess of our ancestors. Her YouTube channel and Facebook Live are like a backwoods beehive nestled within a sacred garden, always becoming, unfolding, blooming, and producing medicine that heals while pollinating the flowers of tomorrow with new ideas. From sacred testimonies of trials, tears, laughter, lament, and triumph, Pink Robe Chronicles by Reverend Melva L. Sampson took root beside living waters and was cultivated in the sacred clearing of holy talkback among women and men who are no shrinking violets. What has emerged is Chronica, a living chronicle that remembers God's beloved by exposing the graft of empire, uncovering patriarchy's pathological assault on Afro-diasporic spirituality, and reclaiming the sacred authority of memory as an instrument of liberation. For these reasons, as a village keeper of that sacred clearing, I opened the book and read the praises, the ancestral invocation, the foreword, the author's note, Chronicle 0, and the introduction before realizing that ordinary time would have to pause. I knew I could not continue chronologically. Something in the architecture of the text resisted linear reading. It invited another grammar, akin to sacred geometry, where meaning is discovered through pattern rather than linear sequence, through relationship rather than chronology. Sampson's decision to begin with Chronicle 0 was no literary accident. And mathematics, 0 is not absence but possibility, the fertile space from which every positive and negative number takes meaning. Likewise, Sampson's prologue functions as a sacred threshold, inviting the reader to release the illusion that history moves in a straight line. Instead, memory spirals, grief returns, joy circles back, healing revisits old wounds until they become wells of wisdom. To my own spiritual imagination, Chronicle 0 echoed the contemplative death of Oyaku, not as an equation but as a resonance. In the Ifa corpus, Oyaku is the generative darkness from which creation begins, the fertile mystery in which discernment ripens before revelation. It teaches that before there is speech, there must be listening. Before there is light, there is holy obscurity in which new worlds are conceived. Chronicle 0 asked me to inhabit that same sacred pause. It instructed me not to rush toward conclusions, but to listen for the voice of the divine. In the wind, the ancestors in the silence, and the spirit moving beneath the surface of ordinary memory. As bees do not begin with perfect hexagons, but instead with fragile circles of softened wax, Sampson does not begin by constructing a finished theology. She begins with traumas and triumphs, the startling, the intimate, the seemingly ordinary moments gathered from kitchens, sanctuaries, family tables, and a single mother's prayer closet. As the chronicles press gently against one another, warmed by testimony and communal witness, they become something greater than memoirs. They become a honeycomb of spiritual initiations and eventually hexagons of moral memory. Each chronicle a cell preserving nourishment for future generations. I found myself reading from chapter 1, not from chapter 1 to chapter 21, but as a diviner might approach an archive of wisdom, allowing one chronicle to illuminate another, returning to passages that seemed to call my name, permitting the book to read me as I was reading it. Every return revealed another layer of nectar hidden within the comb. Every pause became an invitation to practice discernment rather than consumption. As the village keepers of the clearing were one may talk back, refuse marginalization on any scale. Perhaps the genius of Pink Robe Chronicles is that it refuses to be reduced to autobiography, devotional, social critique, or theological reflection alone. It is all those woven together into a living archive where ancestral memory, spiritual proclamation, womanist imagination, and Afro-diasporic futurism pollinate one another. Like a thriving hive, the book does not merely preserve the honey of yesterday's triumphs over trial. It prepares the pollen, the sacred organizing principles of life from which the next generation of prophets, truth tellers, healers, and village keepers may yet bloom in divine enlightenment. Moorish light to all. May we remember Jansen as we journey to spiritual self-determination, absent oppression. Version 1.